Let me ask you something strange. Every chicken on Earth is born with a brother or a sister. So, when you crack open eggs at breakfast, ask yourself one thing. Where did all the boys go? Because here's the truth. Hens are the ones laying your eggs. Roosters never lay a single one. And that one fact creates a very odd problem. An egg farm survives on female chickens, but nature doesn't cooperate. About half of every batch of chicks hatches out male. So think about it. What actually happens to all those male chicks? Are they raised for dinner? Do they grow up into roosters, or do they simply disappear from the story? And the bigger question, why did we humans build a food system where one sex became gold and the other became almost worthless? The whole thing starts with a tiny difference in biology, and that tiny difference reshaped an entire industry. Now let's clear something up first. Male chickens are completely edible. There's nothing toxic, nothing dangerous, nothing wrong with rooster meat. People have been eating roosters for thousands of years. So the real mystery isn't can we eat them? It's why don't we raise them for meat like other chickens? And the honest answer is money. Because at this point, chickens aren't really one animal anymore. They've basically split into two. One kind is built for eggs, the other kind is built for meat. Same species on paper. But humans pushed their bodies in two totally opposite directions. Take the egg chicken first. A modern laying hen is almost a living factory. She can pump out hundreds of eggs in just 1 year. But here's the trap. A male can't produce even one egg. Sounds obvious, right? But now picture a giant commercial egg farm. That farm needs females and lots of them. A male chick brings in 0 eggs. Feed him for months, and you're just burning money with nothing to show for it. That's problem number 1. But there's a second problem hiding underneath. Male chicks from egg breeds also make poor meat birds. They tend to be smaller, they grow slowly, and they turn feed into meat far less efficiently than the chickens raised specifically for meat. A modern meat chicken, called a broiler, has been bred for one single mission: grow big and grow fast, really fast. These birds hit full market weight in roughly 6 to 8 weeks. An egg breed simply isn't wired for that. Its whole body is tuned for laying, not bulking up. So raising its male chicks for meat just doesn't pay off. And this is the moment humans made a strange choice. Instead of asking one chicken to do every job, we split the work. One chicken for eggs, a different chicken for meat. It's basically specialization. Think of a factory. You could build one machine that clumsily makes 10 different products. Or you could build 10 machines, each perfect at one job. The second option usually wins. That's exactly what we did with chickens. And here's the part that surprises most people. The chicken on your dinner plate is usually not the same kind of chicken that laid your morning egg. Meat chickens are bred for speed and big cuts of breast and thigh. Laying hens are bred for insane egg output. They've drifted into two almost completely different tools, and that split is what creates the male chick problem. Because when a hatchery is producing egg layers, it doesn't want half the batch, it wants the females. The males become a leftover, a byproduct of making the hens. Now, long ago this wasn't such a big deal. Old school farmers kept a few roosters around anyway. They needed them for breeding. A small flock might run one rooster for a whole group of hens. Any spare males could just end up in the pot. But modern egg production plays by very different rules. Massive hatcheries pump out staggering numbers of chicks, and they barely need any males at all. So the question becomes brutal. What do you actually do with all these extra males? And for a long time, one answer became painfully common. Male chicks were killed soon after hatching. It's called male chick culling, and it's one of the darkest side effects of modern egg farming. It's not that these chicks are useless creatures, it's that the system makes them hard to use for a profit. But people didn't just accept this forever, they went looking for better answers. And this is where it gets genuinely fascinating. What if you could tell whether an egg holds a male or a female before it even hatches? Then you'd never have to hatch the males at all. Scientists developed technology called In-Ovo sexing. These methods try to figure out the sex of the growing embryo while it's still sealed inside the egg. If it's male, the egg can be pulled before hatching. If it's female, it keeps developing into a future laying hen. It's basically solving a biology problem with a clever piece of tech. But there's an even older solution sitting right there. Just eat the males. And plenty of cultures do exactly that. Roosters end up in kitchens all over the world. In many places, older roosters go into soups, broths, stews, and slow-cooked meals. Their meat can be tougher since they're older and more active, but tough doesn't mean bad. It just means you cook it differently. A young male chicken can be raised for meat too. The catch, again, is efficiency. If you're running a huge operation built to churn out cheap chicken meat, you don't want an egg breed male. You want a broiler. And the meat industry has spent decades perfecting broilers for fast, heavy growth. That's why the chicken in your supermarket almost never comes from an egg farm's leftover males. It's a purpose-built meat bird. Now here's a twist most people never think about. Humans didn't originally raise chickens for meat at all. The first tamed chickens were probably kept for a whole mix of reasons. Eggs, sure, but also meat, fighting, feathers, status, and even religious meaning. And roosters were often the prized ones. In some societies, a rooster wasn't food you ate. It was something you showed off. Its crow announced the sunrise. Its fierce nature became a symbol of courage and power. Cockfighting spread through many cultures too. So historically, male chickens carried serious value. The modern problem only showed up when farming became industrial. Once farms were producing millions, then billions of birds, every extra animal became a cost. Feed, space, labor, housing, transport. The math turned cold and hard. A male chick from an egg breed can't lay eggs, and it's a weak meat bird. So the industry started asking one blunt question. What's the cheapest way to get the females we actually need? And that single question created one of the strangest situations in all of farming. A perfectly healthy animal can become worthless just for being born male. That's not biology deciding his value. That's the system, and there's a real lesson buried in all this. Humans have been doing this to animals for thousands of years. We don't just tame species, we reshape them. We pick which traits we like. Then we breed those traits over and over, until eventually the animal itself transforms. The modern chicken is the perfect proof. A wild jungle bird got molded into an egg machine. Another group got molded into a meat machine. And somewhere in between, the male offspring of one became a problem nobody wanted. So why don't we eat male chickens? The simplest honest answer is that sometimes we do, but in modern egg production, most male chicks never become meat. They come from breeds built for laying, not for growing meat efficiently. The egg industry doesn't need them, and raising them as meat birds just can't compete with specialized broilers. So the male chicken didn't vanish because he was inedible. He became rare because humans optimized the whole system around pure efficiency. And that leaves us with something almost eerie. The chicken in your fridge, the chicken that laid your breakfast, and the chicken crowing on a farm. They can all be the same species. But after thousands of years of human tinkering, they're no longer doing the same job. We took one bird and split it into an egg machine, a meat machine, a breeding animal, and a living alarm clock. And the male chicken, he got caught in the middle of a system humans built entirely around his sisters.